we're going to answer a few questions. Somebody who asked the question we didn't answer last time. Is that correct? Is what I'm saying?
No, Amina got them all. Yeah,
we got them all?
Mm-hmm, we're all caught
I
up.
thought you said Billy and Lorraine.
No, they just gave you weekly envelope.
Billy. Billy gave me a weekly envelope. All right, Billy. Listen, is Billy and Lorraine a couple? Because my first girl was Lorraine. You ain't fucking around my girl, are you, Billy? So, all right. Let's get going. Ask me some questions. Hey, guys, I love you. There's a lot to talk about. Really, I'm doing so many different things. I don't know when I'm coming and going sometimes. And I want to take my bed away from me now. Fucking unbelievable. I'm getting pushed aside just a little bit. And talking to some people about rehab centers and that they own or they're doing and they're working with. And I met them one time when I did something with Michael Franchise, sit down. I met them, and and I did some interviews that they watched and they saw, and they came down and talked to me about a proposition about these rehab centers and stuff like that. Whatever. And I told them, I just had a long meeting this morning and talk with them, and I told them I'm interested in helping you if I could in any way. So I'm looking into that and a whole bunch of other things. And so let's go with some questions. It's enough of me bullshitting about what I'm doing. So I guess.
No, I think it's great because you talked about that on the bullpen and how you absolutely are getting involved in helping the community and, the addiction problem and the fentanyl problem. So you're doing it. You are doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and it's coming to me left and right. I'm going to give you an example of how much it's overwhelming me that I went to the gym the other day and I was in a jacuzzi and a guy came over. Hey, Sammy, how are you? Good. He said, I'm listening to your podcast. I love it. This, that, and the other thing. And he was talking about his son who's in prison right now. Not for a long time, thank God, but... And he's talking about rehabilitating and doing all these things. And when his father went on, this was his father I met, and when he went on a visit, he was talking about me, the kid, and, I should have listened to Sammy, stuff like that, which is just incredible stuff. So the guy was thanking me. I didn't even know what I did, but I guess some of my conversations touch a lot of people. These rehab people, I was talking about different things they were asking me my opinion on certain things, and I've talked about battered women, and they didn't even know what I was talking about. What do you mean, battered women? I said there's a lot of women who have horrible relationships with their husband and they're battered, and I've met and talked to so many of them. They don't know where to turn. It's not like, if you're a drug addict, you have a place to go. And battered women, they're like stuck. And it's not like they got any kind of, mental or physical problems. They're stuck. They don't know how to get out. And I know years ago they opened up these places for battered women, and they put them in and a secure place, give them a room for them and their kids, and secure the place with security, and then help them start their life over again, and help them with court and different things. And so they were blown away, these guys, and they said, wow, we really would like to talk to you and look into that. So these are things I'm talking. I said I get a lot of women who send me messages. Some of them, I would put in the category of battered women. I'm sure there's a couple of battered men out there too, but it goes both ways. But I'll talk about that all at another time. So let's get to the questions and to the people.
So great segue. Noah in the super chat, Sammy, were women intimidated to date you after jail?
Were they intimidated? No, I don't think so. Women like bad boys, bro. They weren't intimidated. They were intimidated by some of the fucking wrinkles I was getting on my face. When I got out, I was 72, so I wasn't as charming as I was when I was 32. So, but no, I actually get along with women very, very well. Some women are a little crabby, but I really do get along with women very well. And I don't mean, like in a sexual way or anything like that, but I do. I like women. I've always liked women. I sympathize with them a little bit, like I was talking about battered women. So, they're smarter than us. And I was telling the guy today, I said, whenever I was a kid and I would cheat, I would always look at a girl's paper and cheat with her. So I knew what the answers were. I'm not going to ask my friend, he's dumber than me. So I would always look to a girl. They always had good answers. They were smart. They did their homework. So.
Do you have a good pickup line that works for women?
It's going to sound like a joke, but it really was. I went to my crew and I told my crew, I met this girl. I knew her. Back then, it was a girl. It wasn't a woman yet. And I talked with her a little bit, and we were like, I don't know, flirting with each other, having a drink, and it was nice. And I told her, listen, I'm married. I'd like to have sex with you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to bullshit. I don't love you. I just want to bang you. And the woman looked at me and said, I never heard that pickup line before. I said, it's really not a line, it's the truth. I don't expect if we go to bed that, I'm going to cater to you. I will open your door to get into the car. After we leave the motel, bro, you open your own fucking door. I'm not doing that no more. So she started laughing, and she says, listen, let me come with you. I want to have fun. So it was simple. We both wanted to have fun, period. When I was in the room, she said, Sammy, you're the only guy who tells the fucking truth. She says, I've been bullshitted and lied. You have no idea how many guys told me, I love you, I want to marry you, I want to do this. And it changes real quick. So I want to thank you, and anytime, I think I had fun. If we want to get together again, I love being honest like this. So when I went to the club, I told my friends. And my friends, oh my God, that was a great story. Where did you invent this? I says, it's not a story, and I didn't invent it, it's the truth. Listen, we all know women are bullshitted constantly with stuff because we want to get in their pants. Once we get in their pants, we're not bullshitting no more. Open your own door, do this, do that, right? Yeah. So it actually works. I said, I don't know, it's not a pickup line, but she liked me being honest. That's what she told me. So I don't know if it's a line, I don't know. What are you going to do now? Go to women and go tell the truth all the time? So it's, I don't know how am I getting the story. But I get along with women. I'm honest with them. And I think that's important because women are bullshitted a lot. We all know that. I'm talking to you guys, not even the women. And, they're like us. Don't you want a woman to be a little honest with you? Or do you like to go to a strip club? She's bouncing on your lap. She's smiling while you're giving her 20s and 30s. And as soon as the money runs out, she's going to go bouncing on somebody else's lap. She just used you, you fucking dope. So if you enjoy having somebody bouncing on your lap, then go ahead. But you're being used. They're using us. We use them. Sometimes just honesty. And it works in a whole bunch of ways. Talking honest it's an incredible. And you have no idea how, when they feel like that with you and they feel they can trust you, they talk about all kinds of different things. I mean, fantasies that they have, or they open up to you in a different way because they trust you. And vice versa. I was friends with a lot of girls. Some of them were bad girls, some of them were hookers, some of them were everything. I had great relationships with them. And the bottom line was just honesty. We were able to talk to each other. We didn't ridicule each other for different things. We weren't abusive to each other, and it does work. It's not a line. It's not bullshit. It works, and especially if you really got somebody who you really, really like or love, be honest with her. And if she don't like it, she leaves you right away, and that's the end of that. But otherwise, you'll be bullshitting each other left and right for the rest of your lives. And sooner or later, you'll break up. So let's go on to another question. Let me get away from women conversations because I'm going to sound like a therapist or something.
Slick Rick 757. Did you ever deal with Paul Vario?
Paul Vario, I knew him. I didn't know him well. I met him a few times. Me and John Gotti, when he passed away, went to his funeral. We were on tape when we walked in. There was agents and news people, and we were on tape. We walked into his funeral. He was a good guy, a very quiet guy, almost like they said in Goodfellas. He didn't want to talk to nobody. He didn't use phones. He did exactly what they said in the movie was very true about him. He was to himself. He didn't have phones in the club, from what I understand. So the movie was pretty accurate when it came to him, and he had a good reputation.
And that was Paul Cicero's character in Goodfellas, right?
Yeah.
Ollie? Nice. Edgaris, for a very generous super chat. Hi, Sammy. Please choose any work you would like off my Instagram, and I will send it to you as a present.
Any what?
Any piece of work. Please choose any work you like off my Instagram. So it sounds like he's an artist. We'll have to check him out.
Yeah, I'll check you out. Listen, I'm into art. I have friends of mine who are into art. A friend of mine I did time with always used to help me with my painting and my artwork. I never did painting. I did charcoal. But he's coming down where he's out now with Talk, and he's coming down to see me pretty soon. So I'm really into art, and when he comes down, I might get into it again. I doubt it. My eyesight isn't great. My hand shakes a little bit. You know, in artwork, you need a steady hand, especially when you're doing the eyes and certain things. You could screw it up in 2 seconds. So, yeah, send me. We'll look you up.
Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Ryan Brown in the super chat. Good afternoon, Sammy. Hope all is well with you and your family. I need to amend something I said in last week's live stream. The article from New York Post said Gotti Sr. beat his wife and Jr. for not going to Angelo's funeral. And he's saying BS.
Yeah, no, he didn't beat his wife or his son. Without a doubt, he didn't want to go to the funeral himself. I had to convince him to go. I said, you're going to look terrible. You grew up with the guy all your life. He's dead. It's over. Your little hard-on for him is over. But everybody who's going to come is going to come here because they knew you grew up together. And you're not going to be there. I'm not going to be there. It's going to look terrible, bro, for you. So he went. And I had said the same night that I went to that funeral, my son had gotten hit by a car like his son did. My son didn't die, thank God. But there's no way in the world that he yelled or abused his wife or his kid for not going. He must have told them don't go. But I don't think he abused them because of it in any way, shape, or form. He really, really had Angelo on the tip of his nose. Angelo caused a lot of problems. Even prior to Angelo dying of cancer, when he had cancer, he wanted to kill him. And I'm the one who stopped it. I told him, John, he's dying of cancer. He's got months to go. Let's not do this, bro. It's not necessary. Let him just die. And he did. He didn't bother with him towards the end. He didn't want to go to his funeral. Angelo, he must have gave Angelo orders. Angelo fucked up a hit on gas pipe. And people got involved, and he was steaming mad at that. So, and other things that Angelo did. You know, Angelo Ruggerio's tapes were so fucking horrendous, so bad, they used those tapes to go to federal judges to get you know, an agreement that they're allowed to go and bug people's cars and houses and stuff like that, because Angelo got caught talking about them. They used a lot of that shit in the commission case. Every single boss, all kinds of underbosses and Gonzalez got pinched. A good part of that came from Angelo and John, their tapes. So, more Angelo than John.
Thank you, Sammy. Super chat from Larry Lapper. If Jerry Papa didn't get killed, would he eventually have been looked at like Greg Scarpa or Tommy Karate, or am I overestimating?
I think Tommy Karate was a good guy. He killed in a fucked up way. I mean, but overall, he wasn't devious. When he had to do something, he killed you in a horrible way. The thing with the girl he told was doing drugs with his wife. They were girlfriends. They were both doing drugs. And he told her to stay away from his wife and all this other crap. When she OD'd and died, Tommy's wife, it was with this girl. And he killed her in a brutal way. I mean, and that was Tommy. He was a tough guy. He could be brutal. He was dangerous in his own way. But I got along with him tremendously. I was even in prison with him, me and John Gotti, for a while. When we went into MCC, he was on the same tier as us. And I liked him. I trusted him. I wasn't afraid of him or anything like that. But he wasn't like Roy DeMeo. Roy DeMeo became a serial killer. You don't know why the fuck he's killing anymore. There's no rhyme or reason to it. He gets off on it. He goes home and jerks off or whatever the fuck he does. I don't know what a serial killer does. I know what a hit guy does. Tommy Karate was a hit guy, not a serial killer. But he did go overboard at times when he killed people. He was very brutal. Now, that doesn't make him a serial killer. I don't know, maybe when he killed somebody, I don't know, maybe the adrenaline, I don't know what it was. But I don't know him that way. I wouldn't put him in those categories. Who was the other guy? Not only Roy DeMeo, who was the other one?
Scarpa?
Scarpa. Scarpa was another fucking sick bastard. I mean, these are different. I don't even count him. They called him the Grim Reaper. This wasn't normal, and it probably sounds crazy for me to say a normal murder. It probably does, but I got to say that because a hit guy is a soldier in the Mafia. He gets orders. He does what he's got to do. He's not happy with it all the time. I was never happy with murders all the time. I didn't get off on it, nothing like that. But there's people like Greg Scarpa they call him a Grim Reaper because he just loved killing. Excuse me. I never fell in love with killing. And I don't think Tommy Karate did either. He was efficient. He was dangerous. He may have went overboard a little bit if he was super angry at the person like that girl. But you know, I guess people who don't know him and some of his murders, you know, they start calling him. I heard people call him, he's a serial killer, he's this and that. I didn't think he was a serial killer. He was a very efficient hit guy, a little overboard. You know, it just takes a bullet in the head. You know, you don't have to chop them up. You don't have to do all these things. And I don't know if he did that to all of them. I think he did that to her. But, you know, so I don't put him in the same category.
Okay. This question in your super chat from Antone goes a little deeper, Sammy. Hi, Sammy. How do you mentally deal with all the work you've done in the past?
How do I deal with it? The work I did in the past, you know, I think I'm like any other soldier. I said this before. If I would have went to Vietnam, I would have killed people. Would have got medals for it, came home. I would have been able to live with it. And how do they live now, years later, when they find out that the Vietnamese people are good people, had no intentions of coming to this country and taking over? We were bullshitted. How do they feel now? You get to deal with what you have to deal with. You're in the military, you got to do what you got to do. You're in the Mafia, you do what you got to do. You're even in a gang, a bullshit bitch-ass gang, and you do what you got to do. I'm sure they're not all happy about it, but I'm sure there's some bad dudes in those things that become sick. And I don't mean he's any tougher than a guy who's not a vicious killer like that. A serial killer is no tougher. Any serial killer is no tougher than me. None. Matter of fact, I would wipe out any fucking serial killer. They don't even make sense half the fucking time. They just is something that they get off on. It's a disease. They're mentally fucking shot. A hit guy who can think is usually a lot tougher, stronger. And it doesn't mean that he likes what he's doing. It means that he's taking his orders and he takes them and goes and does them. How do I live with it? I live with them. Some of them have left scars on me. I don't know if you heard my podcast about Johnny Keys. If you didn't, listen to that part, the Johnny Keys story. They're talking about making a movie out of it. That literally broke my fucking heart to kill this guy. I got to know him in 12, 13 hours that I was with him. That's all I was with him. But, you know, what bothered me more than killing somebody is watching the effects it had on their families. I went to the wake, saw people crying and doing whatever and wearing black, and I said to myself, oh my God, look what the fucking after effects of this is. The guy in the box, when you're dead, you're dead. You don't know nothing. It's over. For you. But it does have bad effects on family members, people who like you, people who love you for whatever reason. But when you break the rules in the Mafia, you get whacked most of the times. So you try to not break rules, you try to live within the rules of the Mafia, and if you don't, sooner or later you could be killed.
Eugene Krentz with the super chat. Hi Sammy, I wish you health. What do you think Tato would say about your life today?
I think in a way, I mean, he wouldn't agreed with cooperating, but in a way right now, listening to me, I think he would get a kick out of it. And I think he would say, look at Sammy. He can convert to different. I always knew he was smart. He's not just a thug who goes around killing people. He can convert and change his life and go and do anything. I always knew that with him. Tato, when I was made in 1976, he had a lot of guys under him, and I got made at the same time as his son, me and his son, Charlie Boy. And 1 year later, for a Christmas party, he made me, for the first time he ever had an acting captain, he made me his acting captain. So that's what Tato thought of me. There was guys who could have been, they were with him for years, they could have been an acting captain. He gave it to me. I was hoping that none of the old timers would get mad, but after a while the old timers said, Sammy, Tato's such a smart guy. He put you as the acting. He did the right thing. And I was proud of that too, just as much of getting made, that these guys looked up to me and trusted me and came to me to give Tato a message or whatever. And so, you know, Tato was a great guy. I loved him. It was like a father image to me. My father died. He was the same height, built as Tato, same mannerisms, all them greaseballs that is, smoking a cigar, doing this, doing that. He was the same way. So I really took a real liking to him, and vice versa.
That's great. Thank you, Sammy. Cornelius Pryor, hey buddy, remember you from last week. In the super chat, hey Sammy, my question, when Angelo came to you for help to kill Paul, how did he know that you weren't going to go run to Paul and tell him what was going on?
That's not something I was noted to do. If you told me a secret, I would never give you up. I would talk with you. I would maybe talk you out of what you want to do or something like that. Or I would walk away from you and say, I never even heard this, bro. My answer is no. You can't have my help. But I think they trusted me enough, him and John Gotti, to come to me. And I went to Frankie. They weren't hesitant about that. They weren't worried about Frankie going, telling on them or whatever. And when I told Frankie, we had our discussion. You heard those conversations, me and Frankie DeCicco. And so, I mean, they weren't worried about me. Why would I do that? To get them killed? They were in deep shit. They were in trouble enough without me sticking my nose in. And then my opinion is, who the fuck would ever trust me again if that's what I did? Who would tell me anything in life? I mean, and that's what it is when you cooperate. People stop talking to you because they're afraid you didn't hold your secrets. You didn't live up to your oath. Well, my oath in the Mafia, I lived up to it every day. If I knew something about you, it was none of my fucking business. I minded my business. I didn't put my nose in. I didn't go running back with stories. And I'm doing the same thing now. I talk on my station. There's a lot of guys I could talk about, especially guys who are doing some shows. And some people are badmouthing me. I could answer these things. I don't. I don't even want to get into that fucking bullshit game. And I don't want to answer. I don't want to get involved. It's not my cup of tea. I would, if I'm mad at you, I'd like to break your fucking face, period. And if I like you, I like you. I will never do anything to hurt you. I may tell you whatever you're thinking, whatever you're doing is stupid. But to go out and hurt you because you're stupid or you're thinking wrong or whatever it is, that's not my thing. So, and it's never been my thing. So I think that John Gotti and Angelo didn't have a problem in the world asking me. The problem they would have had is not asking me. And if they didn't ask me, if they didn't ask Frankie DeCicco, they would have a problem with me, with Frankie, with the rest of the Gambinos, with the other families. They didn't stand a fucking chance. They were begging for help. And when somebody begs you for help, maybe you could say, no, I don't have enough money to help you, I don't have enough time, or whatever. But you don't come and kick somebody in the fucking face who comes to you as a friend and asks for your help. I've never done that in my life. And I have no intentions, even now that I cooperate, I still don't do it. So.
Thank you, Sammy. Long Travel 84 in the super chats. Good day, Sammy. Did you and Frankie ever talk about you being the boss, not John? I know what Frankie said. Why were you not a candidate?
Well, I said it once before. I said it a couple of times. I'm going to say it again. I had a tough crew. I had a good, strong, solid, tough crew. So did John Gotti. If you put me and John Gotti together with our crews, we weren't a pimple on Frankie DeCicco's ass. He was the real deal. He was like a brother to me. He was 14 years, I believe, older than me. Every time I had trouble in my life, it was Frankie to help me. It was Frankie to guide me. His whole fucking family was in the Mafia. I had no one in the Mafia in my family. Even the women, I'm not saying they were bad women or they were mafiosos, no. But they were good women. They could have probably killed somebody right in front of their wives. The wife would help move the body. They were loyal to their men. The DeCicco family was a tight, strong mafioso family from soup to nuts. And so it was nowhere near my place. I wanted Frankie. He was for the underdog. He was fair. He was open. He was honest. He was tough. He was everything. That's a man who should have been a boss. I didn't even think about being a boss. You know, when I got in the Mafia, it was a dream from time to time. I wonder what it is to be a made guy, you know, because they were idols to me. So getting made, I mean, it was... I put that as one of the biggest days of my life, whether it's getting married, whether my daughter was born, my son was born. These were big events in my life. Getting made and being recognized by these powerhouses in the Mafia was a tremendous honor. I never thought of going any higher than that. And then I became an acting captain under Tato. And then the Castellano thing, I became a captain. And then I became the Gunzlier of the family. The wildest things. I never even dreamt of being in those positions. And then I became the underboss of the most powerful organized crime family in the country. Now, again, to me, it was something, it was part of my heritage. My mother and father were Sicilian. I'm Sicilian. Tato, I was very close with. I mean, he would talk to me about his friends. Lucky Luciano, Vito Genovese, Al Capone. I would hear stories. I was blown the fuck away. When I first got in as an associate in the Colombo family, Carmine Persico and Shorty Spiro and all of these guys, Sally Albanese and McIntosh, an Irish guy who was with them, legends. And I wound up with them. And then they told me that the second part of the war was breaking out. Crazy Joe Gallo was coming out of prison. We're going to hit the mattresses. And they told me to hit the mattresses with them. I had already done a piece of work. And I just couldn't even believe the people that I would eat, sleep, and shit with. Looking at them, I said, I'm like a misfit. What am I doing in this room with these fucking guys are legends? They're involved in a war. This is the second part of that war. The Gallo War. And it was called the Gallo Profaci War before Joe Colombo was the boss. The second part of it, Joe Colombo became the boss. He was from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I knew him. I knew of him. When a lot of guys say, I knew him. Yeah, I know him too. But you didn't walk over, he was the boss, and say, hey, I'm Sammy. It's fucking bullshit too. They knew him. You never went near a boss. First of all, there's 4 or 5 guys around him all the time. They wouldn't even allow you near them. But you hear all these stories. But I got to know him because I did robberies. He was sent for me. Or I did my first murder. He was the boss. He gave it to Carmine Persico to give it to me. I did it. It went back right up to him. And so, you know, I don't even know what the hell the question is. I don't know. I went on a rant over here. I get
awesome. Carried
away. But I hope that answers your question. If not, call a psych for me and check me out.
Anthony Perazzo in the super chat. Hey Sammy, back in the late 60s, my grandfather was a numbers guy and he used to report to Benny Eggs. He used to come up to their apartment many times. Have you ever worked with Benny Eggs?
Yes, absolutely. He was the underboss of the Genovese family. He was a great guy. I had a tremendous relationship with him. There was a case, the Windows case, that he got pinched. He went to prison on. I didn't get pinched because a guy, the informant, P.D. Savino, came to me to talk to me about things, thinking he would trap me on tape. But the way I answered, it actually helped me. No, if they would have indicted me, they would have threw the case out, because everything, when he says, you know this, I said, no, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And I didn't. Then he tried to give me money from a union. And I said, why do you want to give me that? I didn't give you no money for a union. Why do you want to give me that? And he said, well, your guy Mario. I said, Mario's on the corner. Go give it to him. What's it got to do with me? So those answers I gave him, this punk bitch, helped me. I didn't get indicted, but Benny was in that case. I had to sit down in that case. They called it the windows case. They had contracts to do all the windows in the city of New York, in state and federal housing. Peter Gotti couldn't get a contract with one guy he knew. They couldn't. They had it locked up. And John sent me down to talk with Benny Eggs to see if I could get them to let the brother in. And I had to sit down with him. Long story short, he said, okay, Sammy, we'll let him, tell us the guy, let him come down, and we'll get him a contract or two. So I worked it out. Benny was a great guy. He was a good guy. Who's that guy in the cartoon? He looked like a little munchkin, I forgot.
You remember Elmer Fudd?
It was like Elmer Fudd. I mean, if you look at his pictures, you can look him up. He looked like Elmer Fudd. I loved him. He was a great guy, funny guy too. So.
How did I get his nickname, Eggs?
Personally, I didn't know. I never knew. Somebody had just looked it up and said he had a chicken farm or chicken factory or some fucking thing, and that's how he got his name, Benny Eggs. But I'll be honest with you, I never knew about it then. I just found this out just recently, that he had a chicken factory or something like that, and he got the name Benny Eggs. But I never knew it when I was on the street, we got all kinds of weird fucking names, so.
How did Lenny the Mole get his nickname?
Lenny the Mole, he was one of the rampers. He was a good friend of mine. We were close, really close. So Lenny the Mole would be out all night, and he would sleep all day. He never come out until the night. So he got the name Lenny the Mole. Where's Lenny? Fuck homies, I'm sleeping. It's daytime. Well, doesn't he ever come out during the day? No. And so he's like a mole. So he got the name Lenny the Mole. Let me tell you this quick story about Lenny the Mole, because I was going out with this girl, Sandy, and blonde hair, very, very pretty, looked a little like Marilyn Monroe, that type of look. She really did. And she loved to give head, and I loved it. So I was going out with her. And one day, we're in a car, and we're driving by a lover's lane in Brooklyn, and there's Lenny's car. So I said, look, it's Lenny's car. And they're blowing the horn. Now, I see a head going up and down, and I said, oh, he's probably with a girl, bro. Leave him alone. No, and they're blowing the horn. 2 seconds more, the head pops up. It's my fucking girl, Sandy, giving him head. I was so fucking mad. So then later I said, Lenny, bro, it's my girl. He said, Sammy, come on. She did after neighbor. Yeah, but that was before. No, he said, not now too. So I agree. I said, Sandy, listen, I know what you enjoy doing, and it doesn't bother me. But don't tell people you're my girlfriend, because if you tell, I'm going to look like a jerk off. So, but Lenny the Mole had my girl in his fucking car. If he wasn't Lenny the Mole, I think I would have wound up in a fight. But I thought it was funny at first. I didn't think it was funny at first. I thought it was funny after I seen a little blonde hair pumping up and down. Oh, my God. So that's Lenny the Mole. Stole my girl.
Mike Myers in a super chat. Thanks for being real, Sammy.
Well, I appreciate being real, bro. I don't care. Everybody thinks I have a great memory, and I do, about facts. If I lie about a couple of things, I can't remember it 2 days later. So I try to tell the truth, and I try to stay real. I tell her how it is. Not proud of that. She was but with one of my friends. But I try to stay real.
Johnny Roast Beef in the super chat. Sammy, did Frank DeCicco ever kill anyone? And did you ever go on a hit with him?
Frankie DeCicco probably killed more people than you got hair on your head. He was a tough guy. A super tough guy. Now, he wasn't a Roy DeMeo. He wasn't a gas pipe. He didn't. But when he was there 100%. When we did the Castellano hit, people say he betrayed Paul. No, he didn't. He was on the opposite side with me and John Gotti and a whole bunch of us from day one. He knew about the meeting. That doesn't make him a betrayer. He had information and we used it. We were looking for everybody, so he wasn't a betrayer. But Frankie took one of the toughest roles in it. Being he was invited to that meeting, he went into Spark Steakhouse with a gun. And his job was, when the shooting started, if everybody who was going to be in that meeting, Jimmy Brown, Danny Marino, Johnny Gamarano, Tommy Gambino, he would show them his gun and say, sit the fuck down. And if they did anything, he would have killed them right in the restaurant. And that's Frankie. That was Frankie's job. And he did it and did it well. And they did go to stand up, and he did growl at them and told them, sit the fuck down. Knowing Frankie, all of them big names, they sat right the fuck down. They all knew that Frankie wouldn't even hesitate to kill them. But he wasn't a mad dog killer, and he was for the underdog. He would fight for the guys. I'll give you another example. Me, him, and Angelo Ruggiero on Bath Avenue, somebody robbed Angelo Ruggiero's car radio, right? And he was complaining to me and Frankie. They robbed the radio out of the car. Now, lo and behold, as we're talking, a car is driving. They slow up, blow the horn. They probably know we're street guys. And the guy yells out, you want to buy a radio? So I started laughing. Angelo is chugging over to the car. Frankie's right behind him. I'm behind Frankie. As soon as Angelo gets there, he hits the guy in the face. So Frankie says, whoa, what are you doing, bro? He got the radio. What kind of radio do you got? Well, what kind of car did it come out of? It didn't come out of the same kind of car that Angelo had. Hey, bro, they're kids. They fucking robbed something. What are you hitting the fucking kid for? That's the kind of guy Frankie was. It's not your fucking radio. And then when the kids pulled away, he says, Angelo, even if it was your fucking car, you didn't know. They're robbing, like you did when you were younger. What the fuck you hitting them for? If it was your radio, tell the kid, give me the radio. It's my radio. Rob my radio. Give it back. No big deal. You know, he's a crook, just like we are. What are you hitting him for? What are you bullying him for? That was Frankie. You had to love Frankie. So he was protecting the kid who robbed the fucking radio. And I felt the same way. Because I was a kid once. We robbed the store and Joe Colombo said we had to give it back. We gave it back because he knew the owner. That's the life. So Frankie was a good guy, belonged being the boss and whatever. And the question was, did he ever kill anybody? If he had orders to kill you, you got killed. Let me put it that way. I don't know the body count, but I'm sure he was extremely well respected. You don't become that extremely well respected if you don't do work. People will respect you, but not how they respect a guy who does work. When he puts up his balls and goes out in the street and literally could be killed or arrested in a thing, when a guy does that and he's putting out himself in the street for the life. And when a guy does that multiple times, every time he goes out almost like a suicide mission. He can get caught up real easy. One patrol car, couple of shots back and forth, they're on the thing. 3 minutes later, there's 14 fucking police cars. That's what doing work is. So he was extremely well rounded guy. Loved, respected, feared a little bit. But he didn't bully people. He didn't take advantage of people. He was friendly with Anthony Spiro on Bath Avenue. Spiro loved him. I mean, he was loved everywhere. So, and, you know.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. Ryan Brown in the super chat. Sammy, I've always wondered, was it required to make your bones to get made, or is that just Hollywood?
I think they want to see if you would do it and be loyal enough. Because eventually when you go into the life and you get made, if they ask you to kill somebody for the family, you have to do it. And if you don't, they're going to kill you. So they want to know that you have enough courage to do it. And people who you go on the hit with, they see every little, you can't hide what you are. I saw guys with cigars, real tough guys, and I was on a hit with them. I mean, they were shitting in their fucking pants. You can't hide what you are when it's down to that kind of pressure. Number one. Number two, if you kill somebody, they certainly know that you're not an undercover cop or detective or agent. You didn't do it. And they know your secret like you know some of their secrets. So it's an exchange of personalities, understanding a person. You know, when you go with a woman and you want to make it a little bit of a bond, a relationship, I'm not talking about just getting married, but a strong bond with a woman. You want to do certain things with her. You want to talk to her. You want to feel her. And vice versa. That's what makes a bond. You can't just meet a girl and say, I love you, I'm going to marry you. You don't know no history about her. You don't know how she's going to react. You don't know if she likes kids or don't like kids. You don't know anything about her. So you're not going to make that bond right away. You're going to want to understand and feel each other. You're going to want to have an argument with her. See her reaction. Ooh. I was in a meeting this morning. And Anna was in the meeting, of course. It was about these rehab places. And I made a joke about Mexican women. We laughed a little bit. And, you know, about women that are abused. So I said, well, Anna had a couple of rough relationships. A date or whatever she had. Nothing major. I don't know that much. But I said, my Anna's got a fucking bit of a temper, bro. So you can see she's growling at you. I mean, if she gets mad, she's the sweetest thing in the world. But when she gets mad, you could see the Mexican in her. She's got balls. So don't I want to know that about her? I'm not having a romance with her. I'm not dating her. She works for me. I love her. But I get to know her. What makes her tick? What makes her mad? What makes her this? Could she hold my secret if I tell her something? Well, and vice versa, she must feel the same way about me. And that's a normal thing, and it's an important thing. If you're not honest with one another and you don't feel for each other and understand each other, then that goes an usher to the T. We want to know what you are, what you've been all your life. We pass your name around before you get made to all the families. So anybody who ever knew you, went to school with you, whatever, have something negative to say, tell us before we make them. So we want to know these people 100%. So doing a piece of work is part of it. And like I said, I've seen guys growling at people with their cigar and their diamond little pinky ring and all this bullshit, right? Went on a hit and I looked at the guy, he was fucking white. I was going to say white is my t-shirt. My t-shirt is black. But white is my t-shirt. And I told the guy, are you okay? Yes. I mean, I'm okay. Why? No, I mean, your face is all red. You seem very nervous. You know, go inside, go in the club, go wash your face with some cold water and relax. So you can't hide You could do all that phony bullshit, but when the rubber hits the road, you can't hide what you are all the time.
Have you ever seen somebody like urinate on themselves? They were so scared, or like lose control of their, you know.
No. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, there's a couple of times I didn't take a piss, and I wanted to take a piss, but I held it in. No, I didn't piss. I never seen anybody really do that. You know, I think the truth is, and when you get nervous, real nervous, in one of those when I'm talking about real, like one of those situations, I don't think you could piss. You could take a crap. I don't think you could do anything. I think your body goes so tense, tightens up, and you're about to, you don't know if you're going to live, you don't know if you're going to die, you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. You know you're in the most massive fucking thing in the world. You know, I've seen movies, I've seen things, guys are going to go a stick up in the bank, and they're wound up, they're nervous, and it's, you know, it's legit. So, did you ever see a movie where the guy says, "Hold up, I gotta take a piss"? It's fucking bullshit. It's, you know, I don't think that happens. I really don't think that happens. I mean, if you had to go before you went, you know, you go. But I don't think that happens. I mean, you could get a guy who is about to, you know, they put him in a room and they're talking to him about to get killed. And if he's a little bit of a coward, he might pee it. I saw in the movies, you know, even when they were making The Godfather, they want to rent this house. They tied the guy up and they put him in a room and he was peeing. I think that's theatrics bullshit. But it's possible that a guy could be that scared, or a woman, and you urinate. I guess I'm not a doctor. I never saw it, so I really don't know.
It's part of the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system. So your body, as in evolution, like our bodies wanted to release everything out of our system, so we run faster and we're more alert. I've seen people.
And I could see, like, after it's over,
yeah,
where the guy finally relaxes, he's got to take a piss. That's happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, when everything was over, I got to take a piss. But I didn't feel that up until when I relaxed.
Yeah.
So. And you just made me think of that, because I really never even thought of that, you know. And I was just saying, you took a piss once or twice, but it was after the fact, when everything was over, and I was relaxed. Oh, it's over, it's done. I did it on one or two occasions, take a piss. Or go before. I've done that too. Maybe you're getting wound up and you take a piss, and then, but never while it was happening. You wouldn't even think about it. I mean, it never came to me, and I never heard about it, and I never saw it.
Betty Ann Tavano, hey girl, welcome back, Anna. Hugs, hearts, hope you had fun. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Thank you, Betty Ann. Thank you, Sammy. It was a great industry class last Monday in LA. I learned a lot and came back and shared with the team, so it was really insightful, and thank you for Sammy for letting me take a couple days.
Yeah, no, that was great. And, you know, see, Anna's like a great person. She's smart. She went to school. She's graduating. She's a psychologist. She's going on to get her master's degree. So she had asked me, there was a thing going on, and a lot of important stuff, and people, some of the people she met, I don't know if it was that meeting or another meeting while she was there, are people who do the Academy Awards, and a couple of people with that. So she went out and met a lot of people and, you know, talked and whatever. So she's great, you know.
Anton in the super chat, did the Mafia exist or ever do work in Miami?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there was a powerful family in Florida. I'm trying to think of his fucking name now. An old timer who was very, very important, and they did work there. And, you know, when it came to Florida and Miami, the Mafia controlled Cuba. And most of the times when they went to Cuba, they took boats and they took things right off of Florida, right across. I think it was only 80, 90 miles. So they got on a nice little yacht or whatever, boom, in an hour or two, whatever it took. And they were there. So there was a lot of Sam Trapacanti was the boss in Florida. And as a matter of fact, his name came up during the Kennedy hit a lot. Him and the guy in Louisiana, so yeah, Sam, I'm sure they did a lot of work there.
That's awesome. Sammy, we got about 3 minutes left. Envelopes from Lefty 1966. Shout out Billy, another envelope for you. Frankie Icon, a third envelope for you today.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. I hope you enjoyed the stories. And listen, when this stuff goes out, if you like them, press like, and always press subscribe. And our subscribe numbers are going up. Now they're at 547,000 or something like that. So the more you guys subscribe, the better it is. And, let me go back to that meeting this morning with these guys. When they came down, that's the first thing they looked at. They said, "Oh, Sammy, you got 547,000 subscribers." I said, "Yeah." So in other words, if we, do this thing together with you, and we allow you to come in and do these things, all of those subscribers will hear what you're doing. I says, absolutely. Well, if we're going to help people get off of drugs and stuff like that, and I'll tell you right now, I'll give you my word. If I'm involved in it, and I think that your whole operation, everything's 1,000% legit, and I'm into it, I will be talking about it to all my subscribers on YouTube and everywhere else. I told them about the morning show, the Q&A, like I'm doing now. I said we have 15, 16, 1,700 people. And, so, and he was asking me about, a percentage, what I want, I said, listen, I got a history, a little bit of an ugly history. I was in the Mafia. I was a heavyweight. I did a lot of work. And I don't back away from it. I don't lie. I don't bullshit. I did what I did. I mean, people could love me. People could hate me. Whatever they feel. But I'm not going to bullshit and lie. I tell the truth. I said, you know why I'm interested in this with you guys is not what money I can make or what percentage or anything like that. It's for my fucking legacy. I want to add this. If I could help people in this way, I want to add this to my legacy. Not for me, I'm 78, I probably won't be here, but for my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren that are not even born, I want them to see the real me. I want them to see what I really was then, how I turned out, and what I did for maybe thousands or tens of thousands of people. And that has my interest. Not how much of money you're making or what percentage is mine, or I'm not interested. That's my interest. So if I could check everything out and I could do these things, a lot of it is with Native American Indians and soldiers and all different kinds of different people. And I was in the military. I was in an Indian group when I was in prison. So you're hitting me with spots that I like those people. They do have problems with drinking and drugs. So does the military. So maybe I could get involved and help this situation because I like what they're doing or what they're trying to do. Once and twice in the conversation, I talked about monies in a way I was testing the waters to see if this is all they thought about. And it wasn't. It wasn't. One guy is a doctor. I think he got in trouble and lost his license. Now he's getting it back or some fucking thing like that. So there's a doctor involved. There's all kinds of people involved. So again, getting back to what I was saying in the beginning, this is my reason why I'm looking at this and I tested the waters. It wasn't about money for them. Because if it was amount money for them, then I know it's almost like these politicians. You think they really give a fuck about us? No. And let me tell you another thing I'm thinking of very, very seriously now, because I'm hearing so many things, is I'm going to start the bullpen again, and I'm going to make it a news media channel. It's going to be on my new website, and I'm going to become like a news station. I'm going to talk about politics, the country. Right now, I read a thing this morning is that Russia, China, India, what's the other countries?
Brazil, South Africa.
South Africa, and another one, it was 5.
Is it Brazil?
Brazil, I think.
Brazil. Now, they all joined together. Listen to those countries. The United States, China, Russia, Brazil, South Africa, and what the fuck is the other one?
What's the 5th one?
Did you say Brazil?
Yeah, you said Brazil.
All right, 4, but I already said Brazil, but all 5 of them. Now, this is a tremendous fucking problem for the United States. They're making their own currency. It's going to undermine our currency. I'll save this for the news station and explaining why, and what it does. I'm not going to get that long of a conversation. It's happening. I saw another one that I don't know how many millions of people in France were protesting. Millions of people. It makes me wonder. This is about new currency and all kinds of things that they're doing there, like they're doing here. We can't get a march of 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people to march against these laws. Where is everybody? France could get millions of people marching in the street. You could go to the thing, see the enormous amount of people. The plane is all the way up in the air. Did you even see? They're all over the place. Millions and millions of people are protesting. We can't get 5,000 people to protest against some of these things about closing the border, about stopping the drugs. There's not one protest. It's insane. I'm also going to talk about Trump's indictment. Now, that's another thing that's so fucking rigged and so fucked up. I'm going to say, he had an affair with what is she, a porn star. So he tells his lawyer she's going to write a book to pay her off and shut her up. 2 reasons. 2. 1, he's fucking married. What married man wouldn't do that if you could afford it? 2, he's going to run for the presidency. What the fuck does he need that for? But where is the crime? Who got hurt? Who got robbed? Who got cheated? I think the only one who might be disturbed with this whole thing is his wife. He got caught. It came out.
And the son, and Barron.
And his son, Barron. Yeah, his family. It's embarrassing, whatever. But where is the criminal part of it? He might have used funds. Fuck where he used the funds. Who got hurt by it? Everybody used funds from somewhere. Who cares where he got it from? He got worth $7-8 billion. Who gives a shit where he got it from? I mean, I don't see the crime in it. I saw Alec Baldwin talk on Instagram. He hates Trump. And he said it. Who cares about this? Where's the crime? And then Alec Baldwin, this is Alec Baldwin's words, not mine, but he said, What was disturbing is that there was thousands of people so happy, cheering that he's getting indicted. First time in history a president of the United States got indicted. And over bullshit. So Alex Baldwin, who hates him, is saying the same thing. How could you be so happy about such a disgusting thing? Abuse of the law, abuse of power. I sympathize with Trump a little bit. I'll tell you why. I was indicted the first time. I deserved to get indicted. I mean, I was a bad boy. I did fucked up things. The second time, for the ecstasy. I mean, I got indicted a bunch of times. I'm not complaining about none of them. I was guilty. I did things. I got pinched in Arizona for the ecstasy. Now, I did lend them money, but I had no involvement. But what did they do? Oh my God. Fuck these kids who are dealing ecstasy. We got Sammy the Bull. And they exaggerated this case and blew it up till no end. They wanted to take me off the street. They wanted to shut me the fuck up, and I got indicted. Brings me back to John Gotti. He's not innocent either, but when they get a hard-on for you, they shut his ass up too. So they got a hard-on for Trump. Alex Baldwin should talk. Look what they did to you. A fucking gun went off. You didn't kill this girl. You're going to fight a murder case. Well, it's not murder, but it's second, third degree, whatever it is. But they didn't have to do that. They got a big name. Alex Baldwin. Let's fucking indict his ass, too. They got a bad habit of using the fucking rules and the law in the worst fucking way. Those same prosecutors, those same cities are letting people out of jail for fucking rape, murder, fucking every conceivable crime. And we're allowing that to happen. And we're so happy that Trump is indicted. He's not my friend. He's not my best friend. I don't know if I would like him or wouldn't like him. I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. But I think it's a shame what they're showing and what they're doing. And you people who are gloating over it, you are fucking lowlives above lowlives. To gloat over that. And you're saying, fuck him and his family. What the fuck did his daughter do? What the fuck did his kids do to you? You're gloating about that? How he hurt your family? For you people, don't get mad if I hurt your fucking family. I killed your husband, boyfriend, uncle, father, brother, whatever the fuck he was. And say, hurt us. And you want to gloat about this. No, you can't have it both ways. You're gloating about this. It's mind-boggling to me. People cheering. They're happy. Why are you happy? You know what he did? I'm sure most of you didn't have sex with a porn star. I don't think it's the worst crime in the world. But do you deserve this? You embarrassed him, belittled him, his family, children. And that's good for you. How vindictive could you be? Well, I'm going to open up the news station now, the bullpen, again. And I'm going to be talking about this. Not this particular thing, but a lot of things. The news. I'm opening up my own fucking news station. All those countries getting together to change the dollar. Hello? News media, where the fuck are you? Don't you think this is a big deal to the United States? Russia, China, India, South Africa, and Brazil. Look how many people that is. India, China. I think they got almost 3 billion people just with those 2 countries. Put the other countries involved, numbers-wise, it's 3 billion plus. Half the planet's population is going to not deal with our currency. It's going to deal with their currency, new currencies. That's going to hurt us tremendously. Our dollar value will not be $1 anymore. It's going to be worth 60 cents, 70 cents. Just like bullshit countries want to come here. They got 5 pesos. It don't equal $1. They need 20 pesos to equal $1. Whatever the numbers are. I'm making the numbers up. That's what's going to happen in reverse. And if that's not a big deal to the news media, why? Is this your guys involved? How come you're not talking about this? And if we're so fucking bent out of shape about Trump, how about all those politicians and their sons and daughters? We don't want to go near them. Oh, it's so brutal. But you don't care about them for a nothing crime. And you guys, politicians, and you guys, no, I'm not even going to say your name. You know who you are. And you know what you did. And you know you got caught with your hand, your dick, your ass, your leg in the cookie jar. And nothing's happening to you. How do you feel? Good? Smug? You got away with it? How could you point your finger at him? How could you be part of hurting him for bullshit? For sex crime? I don't know, but I'm going to go open up, wait until I open up this time around the bullpen, my news station. We're going to talk about all of this. And as many people come onto my new website and get this station, this is going to be explosive. It's going to be good and entertaining. And more important, it's going to give you the perspective of what's going on. You know, years ago, we think of bribery as cash envelope like the mob under the table. They don't do that no more. You know how they do it? With stocks. They want everybody to have an electric car. Look how many politicians bought stock in electric cars from one company to another. Nancy Pelosi, he's just getting rid of car from, what's the guy, those cars, the Elon Musk has?
Tesla?
The Tesla. She's got millions and millions of dollars worth of stock in Tesla. Why? Because she's out there screaming about global warming and let's all buy electric cars. So it's not cash under the table, it's just buying stock. So you're buying stock at $10 and you're pushing it, and if it works, it goes to $40, $50. Look how wealthy you just made. 5 million, 6 million, 10 million, whatever. That's a lot better than the little cash under the table that we went to prison. And I say we, all the mob, Italian guys, for stupid little fucking moves with a little cash under the table. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Some people got life, died in prison. But you can come out and smile, you ugly bitch, and just rob everybody. So we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff. So here's my normal runaway, all you Mexican guys, all my friends in Mexico. Adios, motherfuckers.